through the microphone. I am here today to talk to you about food. Food that is grown in the way that God intended it. Seeds scattered in real soil that is nourished by the rain and sunlight. Haldimand, Norfolk is third largest food producer and one of the most diverse food producing counties in Canada. From beef to melons and chicken to sweet corn. You can find it all there. You can find it all. There is why we are called Ontario's Garden. You may be asking, why does this matter to me? I'm also here to tell you from the inside and from the ground that our food supply chain is under attack and that affordable fresh food and produce is going to disappear. On March 24th, 2020, acting on unconfirmed and misleading data, the mayors of Haldimand and Norfolk recited false claims to justify the declaration of a state of emergency for both counties. The preamble to the declaration of the state of emergency was to recite the casual statement linking the novel coronavirus to a disease with no evidence then or now to substantiate their claim. There is a potential for transmission of the COVID-19 virus among residents. There was not one single case of SARS-CoV-2 in the counties at that time. Following the state of emergency, our Minister of Health, who, by the way, was parachuted into our county from Harvard to lockstep us into Agenda 2030, issued an order under Section 22 of the Health Protection and Promotion Act to employers of seasonal workers that all limits the number of workers quarantining in private dwellings to 3 men per unit. There is the potential for transmission of the COVID-19 virus in the community. To put it into perspective, in an 8,000 square foot dwelling, only 3 men may quarantine for 14 days. Then they are moved into another unit and 3 more men for 14-day quarantine and so on. This is only in our county. We are the only county in Canada with this restriction of quarantine, so as you can imagine, a farm with 500 workers will take many weeks or months to even get work started on their farm. Due to 26% less men arriving in spring of 2020 and the fact that spring makes plants grow, 21% of food crops were lost, either because they could not get them planted in time or they could not be harvested in time. This is set to increase this year another 5 to 10%. And how can I predict that? Because the number of workers coming in is shrinking, either due to the halting of flights from Mexico and the Caribbean, or because they are testing positive and cannot get onto flights, or, like we are facing here, their country of origin is in lockdown and governments are at home working. So a 5 to 10% reduction every year of fresh food means we are right on target to meet the benchmarks and goals of Agenda 2030, the Rockefeller Lockstep, the Great Reset, whatever you want to call it, 75% less food grown outside of its natural state. Oh, you will still have food, but it will be lab-made, computer-printed meats, patented seeds, grown in patented soil, in fake sun with fake rain and fake air. It's not a greenhouse, it's a laboratory.
That's right.
You thought people were sick now?
Yeah. It's about depopulation going after buildings.
Get out! Yes, I know. Well, that's okay. You'll say, I'll just grow my own food. Maybe you will, maybe. That's if you can find seeds that produce for more than 1 year. Well, I will raise chickens and have eggs. Maybe you will. Until your chickens are a threat to the industrial food producers in your area. And so your backyard chickens need to be gassed, like they did in England, because the massive chicken farm up the way has avian flu. Or like Gates is doing. He's buying up millions of acres in the USA, all the Midwest, Texas, Wyoming, Idaho, and guess what? He's bringing sick, yes, you heard me, sick cattle into the country. What does that mean? Well, your cattle will be destroyed for food safety. Communist Party of China just did it to their hog and pig farmers. Declare a swine flu and kill everyone's pigs now for food safety. Only government-run food production.
Crohn's disease.
Now you will only get the food that is safe, and it will only come from the safety of the laboratories run by the oligarchy that is taking over every aspect of our lives. And we all know by now that most people will choose safety over freedom. So what can we do? We must become advocates for food, real produce, produced outside. Support local farmers. Ask the grocery store to stock local produce. We must demand labeling of patent fruits and vegetables that are bioengineered with animal DNA in them, and food additives that stimulate our flavor senses to taste sweet instead of bitter. Please contact your local MP and let them know that the quarantine measure in Haldimand, Norfolk is not about safety. Yeah, exactly. That the public health measures are damaging the food supply, and you want to protect traditional farming. Mexico and Caribbean. 98% of Canada's farm workers come from Mexico and Caribbean. So believe me when I tell you flights weren't canceled because he doesn't want your families vacationing. I'll leave you with this thought. When is the last time you ate an orange from the grocery store? I bet you thought, wow, that is the best orange I've ever tasted. It is so sweet. And now you're gonna wonder if it was really that sweet or if it was altered to taste to be that sweet. So for anybody that's interested, you can follow Rachel at Farmers for Freedom on Facebook. Support your local farmers, you guys. They need you. Rally around them. Let's go, okay? And I'm going to leave you with this. You know, in the beginning of change, the patriot is a scarce man, and brave, and hated, and scorned. When his cause succeeds, the timid join him. For then it costs nothing to be a patriot. Mr. Mark Twain.